Okay, there's that. There's that. Okay, so we got to do a clap.
Yeah.
All right, on 3.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. What's up, everybody? Welcome to this episode of True Crime and Cocktails. We're so glad you're here. As always, I am your host, Lauren Ash, and as always, I am joined by my co-hostess with the mostess, Christy Oxborrow. How you feeling?
Look, I realized promos are going to be really hard this time because the first one, I can't reveal what we look like because that's supposed to be a reveal. I always do a promo before as like a teaser, but I can't show what we look like, which is a shame that they're going to have to wait, but it will be worth it.
Oh,
it will be worth it.
Dear listeners, this is the second annual Holiday Hootenanny episode of the show. If you haven't listened to the original Holiday Hootenanny, you gotta stop what you're doing, go back and give it a listen. Yeah. It was our Christmas special last year. Christy got blotto, for lack of a better term, which was it was nice for me because I had been so drunk in so many episodes to that point.
Yeah.
And I was like, it was nice to be the more sober of the two for a first, for first. Doing great. But this year we decided to kick things up a notch. For those of you, I think everybody knows about our newfound enjoyment with cosplay. Obviously over Halloween,
yes,
we did 2 of them. And we did, of course, our coordinating Star Trek: The Next Generation costumes where I was Data, Christy was Riker. And then we surprised each other for the Halloween episode where I was Pajama Bailiff and she was, of course, Cookies. 2 of Christy's alter egos. And so for this, we decided we would secretly choose a character from Love Actually and dress up as it. Now, what's amazing is that we have chosen the same character. And if you're listening and not watching, the reveal is that we're the little Spider-Man wise man from the nativity play. If you're not familiar with Love Actually, then this probably means nothing to you. Give it a watch. Don't be such a curmudgeon. Give it a watch. Yeah. But we had a feeling. We were like, I wonder if we've chosen the same character. And the reveal that we, yes, in fact, have chosen the same character is truly, truly delicious. I also love, this is only the second time we've done one where we're surprising the other person.
Yes.
And by the second one, we've chosen the same character, which feels like it's even more proof that we share a brain.
Oh, 100%. Again, I think that we were instantly like, you know what? We want to be like, if you watch this movie enough, this is the character that stands out. Because every time this character comes up, it's just full laughter. And I think that's just, it was like, if we'd only seen the movie once, we might not have thought of it. We might have done a main character. I don't know. But I feel like I'm not surprised this is where we went.
Oh, no. And I do have to say also, my parents have, my stepdad loves the movie, loves Love Actually. My parents have watched it many times. I quickly FaceTimed them before we started and they laughed so hard. Again, anyone who's a fan of the movie, I feel like this is right in the wheelhouse of just perfection, just perfection. And again, the fact that we both chose the same character. Now, for those, again, who have not seen the movie, very quickly, the joke is that there's kids in this nativity play, which of course is the story of Mary and Joseph and the birth of baby Jesus. But the joke is that there's all kinds of different things there. There's lobsters, there's a whale, there's, all these different animals that were, so the bit is kind of like, there was lobsters that were present at the birth of Jesus. And then the last moment in this song is that they just show a little boy who's dressed up as what looks to be a wise man. But he's got his face painted as Spider-Man. And it's such a funny, button. That's what we call it in the biz, a button to the bit. It's the best. And yes, it's the quickest of moments. It's a flash, really.
Yes.
But it's a classic.
Oh, obviously. I mean, the fact that we both showed up of all the characters in that movie, and there's a lot. Yeah. The fact that once I thought of it, there was no going back. Like as soon as I was like, I'm like, oh, instantly I was like, well, what's the funniest character I could be? I'm like, oh, obviously that. Oh, oh, I have to do that. And then I thought, oh, that won't be a problem because it's just a crown and a wig and some face paint. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
And then you watch the movie and you pause it when he's there to screenshot to see your outfit, and you realize he is the most elaborately dressed character in the entire movie. And that has been the joke. Having to do sewing has been a real, I'm not a sewer. I'm not. And the fact that, I mean, maybe if I had a machine or knew how to use one, that would help, but I don't on either of those fronts. So I had to do this by hand, and it was a lot.
It should also be noted, Christy has gone to more detail than I have. She has the sleeves and the belt, which I do not have. I have the
you have
in the shirt.
You have the bespeckled shirt. Bespeckled?
Right.
I don't know where
I liked it. But still, I mean, I think a beautiful showing for both of us. I commend both of us for our work.
Yes.
For our dedication.
Yes.
And our commitment to comedy. Quite frankly.
I also just need it to be known that I spent so much time putting this face paint on, and it was killing me that I couldn't message you and be like, this is the worst.
Yep.
Oh, this is the worst. I do now, I guess it's just going to become a series. I do have a photo of myself just in the wig doing like a kind of face, because the wig was not great when I put it on. It's still not great, but you know what? It's the best I could do, and I could have cut it more, but it's a very thin wig. So my real hair is too close to it. And I just thought, don't do that. And then there was a part of me that was like, no, save it for the next outfit.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we've somehow, as women who are in their late 30s, doesn't matter that you had a birthday recently, women in our late 30s, we have just embraced the love of cosplay. And I don't even know if we can even call it cosplay, because I don't know what all the rules are. But I think that what I like about cosplay is it feels like there are no rules. It's just you do you do whatever. And that's what I respond to. But yeah, what I like is I have drawers now. I have a drawer in my one closet that is full of wigs, and I prefer it that way. Now, unfortunately, part of the good thing is that I have a drawer in my bathroom now. And when you open it, there's wig caps, bobby pins, all the things you need. So I opened it as I was putting my wig cap on to put this little number on. And I'm reaching in and I'm getting my hair clips. I'm clipping my hair down. I'm in a rhythm. You know what I mean? I'm in a rhythm. And then I reached in and I didn't realize that there was an earring in there, like a stud, and it was sticking up.
Oh no.
And oh boy. I mean, I don't want to make people cringe, but I guess this is a true crime podcast, so maybe I can talk about blood a little bit. Let's just say it went so deep into my thumb.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's fine. I was just like, oh my God. And it was so blunt. Like, it was just one of those, like, to quote Alan Rickman, who, may he rest, was in Love Actually. And I his character from Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I'd cut your heart out with a spoon. And it's like, why would you use a spoon? Because it's dull, you idiot. It'll hurt more. It does, is what I can tell you.
Thank you for quoting Alan Rickman, not from this movie.
Yep.
I couldn't be happier that he's come out. I also might be half cut already because I've downed the first drink.
Yeah.
And I have a second. I just poured it into the right cup, and I've already had to take off the sash because I'm like, it's so hot. It's so hot. So
what I like is you're starting to talk faster and your voice is in a slightly higher timbre. And that's when I always know that she's going. She's going. And I could not be happier about it.
Oh, I'm going to get full. Like there's no stopping this train.
No.
This is to quote Soul Asylum, runaway train, never coming back.
Toot toot. Who's driving? Brandy. That's who. Although it's not
actually.
Brandy. Oh, well, yes, there is Brandy. Well, listen, we're going to get into the cocktails that we're drinking very, very quickly, but I guess I should just also, in case you're like, what the hell are you two chuckleheads doing? Like, what is this episode? I'm going to tell you, and then there's going to be a large amount of you that stop listening. And to that we say, enjoy that. You don't need to tell us. But for those of you who are going to stay, you're in for a treat, almost as much of a treat as the Glee curse. If you haven't listened to that, give it a listen. That's a bit that I will not let die.
I love it. It's a romp.
It's a romp. Thank you very much. So basically, the Hootenanny, we got stories to tell you. We've got 2 signature cocktails. They're different from the ones we drank last year. We're going to tell you all about those. And then we got a couple of games. We also have some updates on things that we promised you in the last episode. All sorts of things coming your way. Holiday fun, again. Because we're getting towards the end of the year, and we went real hard on this podcast for well over a year. And so this month we've built in some breaks, and it's nice that at the end of the year we have some fun. We have a release, you know what I mean? And then we're going to come back in January, and don't you worry, there's going to be so much fucking murder. You're going to love it.
Oh, I like the spice of where we're going.
Yeah.
I mean, we haven't taken a break yet.
No, no.
Right now, like right as we're recording this, the dear listeners are like, oh, good. They're taking their much needed break. I spend almost as much time as I do researching, just prepping this costume.
What I mean is it's at least a different part of your brain. Do you know what I mean? Like, at least it's like, it's a change. It's like a break from the murder, because it gets heavy.
Yes. It
heavy.
does. It does. Yeah. It's nice to step away from that briefly, which is nice. We'll get into it more in the next episode, but I was looking up how many episodes we've done. We've done 50 episodes in 2021, and that includes this one and the next one that we're going to put out,
right?
And there's only 52 weeks in a year, so the idea that we put out 50 episodes,
well, and I mean, if you add in the bonus episodes, the Patreon episodes,
I can't mentally.
I think it's another 40.
Oh yeah, because we've put out, I think, at least 35 maybe, plus then the extra one every month. So yeah, we're over 40 on that. So just, a cool 950, 80. She can't do math. 80 to 90 episodes in the last year.
Yeah.
What we like to say to others, I'd like to say to us, take a nap.
Take a nap.
Take a nap. Yeah, take a nap.
Yeah, but that's again why it's important to have some fun, to get your yayas out, to put some face paint on and drink some drinks.
Yeah, just don't leave the face paint on long. We're going to need an after. We're going to need a follow up on how the face paint went.
We are.
Which I guess we can do in the next episode. But
yeah,
I think we're both concerned.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of research about what was the best face paint for sensitive skin, because I have rosacea and my skin is very sensitive. This was recommended as the best, but you just don't know. You just don't know. I put a layer of foundation down and then I put the face paint on top of it also.
Oh, that feels smart.
Put a barrier. But again,
I just went raw, babe.
Not even 15 minutes into this, and you've already said, I just went raw, babe. This is Shades of the Hootenanny of last year's Hootenanny.
It is.
Oh, this is going to be, listeners, you're in for a treat. And here's the thing. I know that there's people that they're like, we only want crime from you two. And to that I say, that's a shame. That's a loss on your part, because the next, however long this episode is, we don't know. It's going to be a trip. I'm telling you that right now. And the reason is, and I'm going to get to one of the reasons, the signature cocktails. Now, this first one, This is Christie's. This is what we're drinking right now. Out of, again, and we'll get to a whole lot more because about this. These are some cups that we purchased in Las Vegas, Nevada, where I took Christy on a surprise birthday trip a couple weeks ago. If you follow us on social media, you already know that we were there. If you don't, give us a follow. What are you doing? True Crime and Cocktails, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube.
Yeah.
Not Detectives on Twitter. Anyway, so these cups say bitch 1 and bitch 2, Las Vegas, and it's a damn delight. Now, this cocktail, we're each drinking kind of a variation on it because I searched and searched and couldn't find the one ingredient, but I got to tell you something. Delicious. How's yours going down? I think I know the answer.
I mean, I've been half cut for multiple days leading up to this to prepare this cocktail.
Of course.
Some might find it heavy because it's got actual fruit in it. But to me, the fruit makes me feel like I'm doing something nice for my body, where all the booze in it makes me go, nah, you're still fun. I'm a fan. I struggled. I came up with the thought of what I wanted it to be, and I had the fruit in my mind and I had the booze in my mind, and I tried it and I was like, something's missing. And I had muddled the fruit. And so there were chunks in it that something wasn't right about it. And then I was like, you know what? I need to add lime. My lime, that'll do it. No, it did not. I added pineapple juice. It just wasn't right. And then it was my husband's suggestion of just like some grenadine, and it really brought out the strawberry. And I'm going to say it. What a delight. It's going down nicely.
Now, Christy has named this cocktail the Boozy Blanche, which
she likes alliteration. Yeah.
Of course, it's one of your favorite literary devices.
It is. It is.
Now, we will post these recipes on our Instagram, probably on Twitter. I don't know. I don't run it. She does, but I don't want to commit her to. I don't want to overcommit Christy to anything. Point is, they'll be somewhere.
When I say I'm going to post something, usually it's Twitter, Instagram, Facebook.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
That's what I assumed.
Yeah.
So, but I'm going to tell you what it is right now. And then I'm going to tell you the little variation that I've got going on over here as well. So this is a cup frozen strawberries, a cup frozen mango pieces, a shot of vodka, a shot of blackberry brandy or blackberry liqueur, either or, a shot of grenadine, and Sprite.
Yeah.
Now, it says, and I love that I could have let you do this, but I like to read. So she says thank you. She let the fruit thaw completely so that it was easier to work with, pureed it using a hand blender, added the vodka, brandy, and grenadine, and then shook it, and then gently stirred in half a can of Sprite, or you could top the glass with Sprite. I mean, look, sorry, my cape was just choking me. What I like,
that's why I've lost the cape.
Oh, I was reading, and when my eyes came back, your cape was gone. What I like is that it's only the hootenanny if Christy's stripping.
Yeah. I mean, there's a reason I've started this episode with no pants.
Yep. Yeah.
I had to have somewhere to go, and I guess cape was the first casualty.
Well, listen, again, she comes by it honestly.
Yeah, she does.
Now, again, I could not find the blackberry brandy or a blackberry liqueur. I went to 4 different stores here in Los Angeles, California, one of the biggest cities in the world, and no dice. So I've done a bit of something different. I hand blended the frozen strawberries and frozen mango, but I didn't let them thaw completely. They were still like not fully frozen, but it was very much the consistency of like a smoothie.
Yeah.
And then Christy recommended, she was like, if you're not doing the blackberry, then don't worry about the grenadine, because the grenadine's kind of to cut the blackberry flavor.
Yeah.
So then I added Sprite, and then I did add lime.
Ooh.
And let me tell you a little something.
Yeah.
And vodka. And it is nice. There is a Ash family punch recipe that's got some of the same elements. It's not the same, but some of the same elements. And I think what it is, honestly, frozen fruit. Here I go. Here I am making fun of you. And I'm about to have like an earnest talk about frozen fruit and cocktails. Jeez. It just keeps it so cold. Do you know what I mean? Like, even if it's not, because once I put the Sprite in, it did melt down. So it isn't a smoothie, texture anymore.
Right.
But it's so cold. it goes down so easy because it's, again, experiment with frozen fruit in your cocktails is what I'm saying.
Oh, 100%. The only reason I thawed mine, because I thawed it a little bit, so because my first attempt was muddling, but when you shake it in the, like, I have like a metal shaker, when it was so frozen, I couldn't get the shaker open.
Oh,
And
I've
my
had that happen
husband had to
before.
like run it underwater, and then part of it like popped off and freaked me out. And it was a whole thing. But yeah, and now I have like a hair in my eye, but I'm scared to touch my eye. This is where we're at. But yeah, that's the only reason I was like, oh, thawed as what best you can. And I'm sure in some grand scheme of the world, you could use fresh, but I feel for some reason the frozen gives more flavor than the fresh. I don't know if that's accurate, but I'm also excited to talk more about this Ash family punch recipe because I don't believe I've ever had it.
It's really good. I would have to ask Mother Laurel to share that punch recipe, which I'm sure she gladly would. I believe, and don't quote me, it's frozen strawberries, Sprite or 7-Up, ginger ale, and lime. And I think that might be it.
Interesting.
But there might be something I'm forgetting, but it is like, it's so good. It's so refreshing. There's something about the ginger in it too, that it kind of cuts the sweet. You know what I mean? Like it's sweet, but that and the lime, it cuts it. And I mean, I remember as a kid, that was like Christmas was the one time I remember we used to have that punch out, and I would just stand by the punch bowl and I would just like chug it. Like it was so good.
Is it wrong that I'm like, oh yeah, with some vodka? Like that
No.
my go-to is like that.
Well,
we didn't do a punch while you were here last.
I know.
Oh,
I know it's a shame. And then as I got older, I did start adding booze to it.
nice.
Yes, yeah, of course. Not into the punch bowl. I like people to be able to do what they want. But again, you just, you know, fill your cup.
Oh, that feels nice.
Yeah. But yeah, delicious
nice.
is the point. Delicious. So we've thrown a lot of ingredients at you, dear listeners, but don't you worry. They will be findable. The recipes will all be findable online. And there is going to be a second signature cocktail that I have chosen after our first break. So stay tuned for that. Now, do you want to go get the rest of this cocktail? We can pause. I mean, the magic of editing.
I just dumped it into I brought a second cup and I just dumped it into here.
Yeah. Of course you did. Of course you did. What a gift in my life. Now, if you listen to the last episode of the show, I believe, was it the last episode? Or was there one? Oh my God, I love that my brain is just
the last one we did
mushed
was Tamla Horsford.
And that was when we were talking about this? I don't remember.
Yes.
Oh,
somehow
God.
We talked about it at the beginning. We talked I think it was before we got into our talk about the Muppets.
Oh, of course. Excuse me. Of course.
But it might have been after. I don't know. Once you start talking about the Muppets, it's hard to focus on anything else.
Yeah. Okay. Of course. Yeah. What we're discussing is not my hilarious joke, Hogs Before Frogs, which I stand by. It is Zendaya and who I like to call the little Spider-Man, which is it's ironic because we're both dressed as little Spider-Men today.
Yeah. I had not thought of that. Great call.
But we had been talking about Zendaya.
She calls him the little one strictly because he looks young. He looks very, very young. It has nothing. We are not body shaming in any way.
No, he's
perfectly proportionate.
He's a young boy. He reads as a young boy.
He's reads 15.
Yeah, he reads as 15. Yeah, so that's why I call him the little Spider-Man, because he reads as a teenager. So anyway, we were talking about Zendaya and Tom Holland, and then there was some debate about, are they together? Are they not together? Yeah. And so we did promise an update. And at the time we said, people are going to be like, oh my God, are we going to have to talk about this more? And the answer is yes. So I know, Christy, you put together some sort of Zendaya and little Spider-Man timeline, which I'd love to hear about.
I don't really know what to say. except Thomas Stanley Holland was born June 1st, 1996, in Kingston upon Tame. Oh no.
You're doing great. You're doing great.
Is it Tem?
Tem.
Tem. There it is. That's in England. Oh boy. He attended the Brit School for Performing Arts and Technology in 2012. According to IMDb, after 8 auditions and 2 years of training, Tom made his West End debut in the musical Billy Elliot on June 28, 2008. He made his film debut in 2012 in The Impossible, which also starred Naomi Watts and Ewan McGregor.
Hey.
Zendaya Marie Stormer Coleman was born in Oakland, California, September 1st, 1996. She got her start as a child model for Macy's, Old Navy, and Mervyn's, and as a backup dancer. She started to get attention in Hollywood in 2010 for her role as Rocky Blue on the Disney Channel show Shake It Up. Zendaya then moved on to produce and star as the title character in the Disney Channel show Casey Undercover in 2015. Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017 was her film debut.
Hey, I didn't know that.
Yeah. And on that very film set is where Zendaya met Tom Holland. Soon after, they started showing up in each other's Instagram posts as of July 2016. May 2017, on the second best episode of Lip Sync Battle, first, of course, being Lauren and Ben, Zendaya performed Tyrone by Erykah Badu and 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars. Tom performed Nelly's Ride With Me and a mashup of Singin' in the Rain and Umbrella, which brought the house down. In December 2017, Tom and Zendaya had dinner with her parents in New York. An insider said, quote, Tom has met Zendaya's family and they love him. In July 2019, Spider-Man Far From Home is released, in which Tom and Zendaya's characters share their first kiss. In February 2020, Zendaya was seen kissing her Euphoria co-star Jacob Elordi. The couple broke up in September 2020. Tom dated Olivia Bolton from 2019 to April 2020. July 2020, Tom sparked dating rumors after posting a photo of actress Nadia Parks on his Instagram. Nadia moved in with Tom, his brother, and a friend shortly after London went into lockdown during the pandemic. In February 2021, Tom posted a photo of himself with Zendaya and a second Spider-Man co-star. He tagged both of them. However, he tagged Zendaya over his own crotch. Tom said that it was a simple mistake. Zendaya said Tom is just really bad at Instagram. But of course, everybody was like, that means something.
Yeah.
In July 2021, Tom and Zendaya were spotted having dinner in Los Angeles, and the next day, the couple was seen making out in a car while at a red light.
Oh.
Zendaya gushed about Tom during an interview for InStyle magazine's November 2021 issue. On December 1st, 2021, the couple officially went public after attending the, oh no, why did she put French in? Ballon d'Or, an annual soccer ceremony in Paris. According to an article that I read, Tom wore a classic tuxedo and Zendaya wore a vintage Robert Cavalli dress. And my only problem with this is the fact that the dress was considered vintage, even though it was made in 2000.
Yeah.
2000 was like 8 years ago, and I refuse to believe otherwise.
Same.
And insider sources say, quote, Zendaya and Tom started off as really great friends and stayed that way for a long while before things turned romantic. They work really well together because he makes her laugh and she really helps guide him through the world of celebrity. And I know they are so young, but God, I'm so happy that they're together. Their love seems pure and I have nothing to base that on. But one thing I love about this whole thing is how it feels like it was just all part of Tom Holland's plan. In a 2017 interview, Tom said that his celebrity crush was Zendaya. They officially start dating in 2021. When Tom was cast in his first Hollywood movie, The Impossible, he was just 13 years old. Production started in 2010. Film was released in 2012. During a red carpet interview, he was asked what superhero he'd maybe like to play someday without missing a beat. He said, quote, maybe Spider-Man in like 10 years time. Tom first played Spider-Man in Captain America Civil War in 2016. Tom was then asked his favorite video game in an interview, and he said Uncharted. Later, he was casted in the Uncharted movie, which is to be released in 2022. So I guess if you follow in Tom Holland's footsteps, you too can manifest your entire life. And before anyone says it, I'm not suggesting that Tom doesn't have the talent or hasn't worked hard to make this happen. Manifesting doesn't automatically give you what you ask for. Manifesting does not mean you're not earning it. You still have to put in the effort. I'm just saying, what are the fucking odds of that?
I'm just saying, who's his witch and can I have her number?
100%. I would absolutely drink with his witch. Why would I drink?
I don't know, but yeah. I mean, that is wild. 3 of the things that he said, it just feels like, again, I agree with you. It's not suggesting that he's not talented at all, but it is a testament for maybe we all need to be saying the things that we really want more,
Yes, I think we should be putting it out in the universe. I think we should be screaming from the rooftops about it, because if it works for little Spider-Man, from one little Spider-Man to another, Tom, help us out here. It's just, what are the odds that of all the superheroes he could say, he would say Spider-Man?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's an interesting question, because he's definitely that type. Like, he's a Peter Parker type.
Yes.
But as we've discussed on this show before, they did cast, he was a young, all jokes aside, he was a young Spider-Man. He was in high school in that first movie or whatever. So this is not the Peter Parker we're normal to. Wow. Not the Peter Parker we're used to, who was an adult man, who had a job, as we all know, etc. But he is that same type. Like, he's a slim, tall-ish, and not that he's that tall. I mean, his girlfriend is taller than him. That's, again, no shade, but he's that type. So I don't know whether it was in his mind, this is a realistic choice for me as well. I don't know if he didn't think about it that hard, or has he been thinking about it all the time? You know what I mean? There's so many questions.
Oh, I have a lot of questions. I just want to know, what else has he asked for? Like,
well, I guess we're going to find out.
I mean, I hate to tell you, Zendaya, but if he's ever outright said to the universe, I'm going to marry her, you don't have a choice. The universe.
Yeah.
The universe is going to find a way to make it happen.
Yeah.
The universe likes Tom Holland, and that's just how that is.
You know what? Again, like, I don't know who his witch is. Like, I'm just saying, Tom Holland, if you can get this message, like, just send me a DM. Let me know. I just like her info.
Yeah. Again, apparently I just want to drink with her. I just feel like she'd be a good time, and I have nothing to base that on.
I also love that I just suggested that maybe he's consulted with a witch, and you're not only saying, yes, you're right, but also she's also a fun time, which I like.
Yeah, because why wouldn't she be? I just feel if anybody who's like, what do you want? Sure, done, yours. Like, unless she's just playing favorites at this point. Wow. Yep.
Now, here's some synchronicity. Uncharted, the movie that is coming out next year, starring Tom Holland, was directed by Ruben Fleischer, who is one of the producers and directed many episodes of Superstore.
Okay.
He directed our pilot and our finale, as well as other episodes along the way. But how's that for Small World? We're in the Spider-Man face paint while we're talking about the little Spider-Man. It feels like we might have just opened a portal.
Does that mean I'm going to get to drink with the witch?
I don't know, but I'm like, is now that like, do we ask for what we want now? Do we write a letter? You know, it's like, how do you do it? Like, it's one of those things where it's like, what do you put out there? What do you ask for? You know?
Well, if it's how Tom does it, he was asked in an interview. So,
Right.
oh God, what do I have? Lauren Ash.
Hi.
Do you have any like a project that you think you might like to work on?
Yeah, you know, actually, I'm working on something right now, under a development deal that I'm on, and I feel really good about it, and I'm excited and hopeful that it's going to come into fruition next year.
Are there any superheroes you think you might like to play?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It's not top of mind. Damn it. Yes, I would like to play. Damn it.
Hey.
Who's left though? Do you know what I mean? I'm like, who are the
Yeah.
superheroes that are left?
Yeah.
I always wanted to be in a Watchmen. I would have loved to have played like Sally Jupiter in the Watchmen.
Sure. Okay. Well, we'll walk that one back.
Thank you.
Okay. Well, is there a love interest you'd like to have in a film or in real life?
Absolutely. Do I say it now?
I
screwing it up. I think I've screwed up my own witchcraft.
Okay. Look,
maybe we have to do it the exact way that he was asked.
It's possible. We need to look up exactly how he was asked to get the wording.
Yeah.
Well, get the incense.
Get the incense. Look, it's one of those things where it's like, I'm nervous because I don't want to jinx myself. But then at the same time, I'm like, if ever there was a time, it feels like the synchronicity with the little Spider-Man is right now.
It's just every once in a while, I forget we look like this. And, and then I look over it.
You know what would be amazing though? I'm sorry to interrupt, but you know what would be amazing is that if this is the moment I reveal this celebrity crush, because I don't often talk about celebrity crushes either. We all know the Blanche list.
We right? Can't have this be the clip that goes viral.
That's what I'm saying. You know, how long was it for him? Like 4 years later. He said Zendaya in 2017, 4 years later, there's 4 years later, they're dating. So what, in 2025, this clip of this asshole is going to be going viral on the internet of me saying, yeah, I do have a celebrity crush. And then it's this. I mean, it would be so hilarious that it's like, this is the legacy of that moment. And then whoever it is like, oh, babe, wow. It's miraculous I didn't find you then.
I mean, that makes sense though, doesn't it?
It feels right. It feels right.
I mean, it also would make sense that this would go viral and I'm like half cut already and we'd be in trouble.
The clip being of both of us, because again, it'd be out of context. Completely out of context. No one would know why, when, or how the two of like what this is. It'd be like a clip in a moment from her podcast, True Crime and Cocktails. When inexplicably she and her co-host were both dressed as the same character from movie Love Actually.
My hope is that they don't even go that far. They're just, here's a clip from their true crime podcast. And it's this. And they're like, what's happening there? And someone who has not seen Love Actually would be so confused. Because it looks like we're both wearing big pairs of glasses and I can't.
Yep.
I can't. So the idea that someone would see this and be like, it's from a movie? I didn't know. I just thought this is their theme. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Okay, so I just Googled very quickly. It says he was asked, who is your first celebrity crush? And he said Zendaya. Now, if I was answering that, it would be Jeff the mannequin from today's special.
oh, well, now what have you done?
Yeah, no. I think that it would have to, I think that it's okay for now that I've seen that, I think it's okay if it's slightly changed, which is who's your current. I think that would be okay.
Sure.
Don't you think?
I think so.
All
It
right.
makes it, oh, do you want to do this again? Or
Do you think we should do it?
are you worried about this going viral years from now?
Well, what I also am worried about is that I do this and then all kinds of people are going to tag this person in this video. And then I'm going to be like, I don't know that this is how he needs to meet me.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great point.
But then am I denying the power of the Tom Holland vortex we may have opened? It's a real boner.
Thank you for your choice of the word boner. I
think we have to decide by the end of the episode. I think we've opened the portal.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And we have to decide by the end. We'll talk about it on the break because this is
Yeah.
not something that we take lightly. And I know people think that maybe this is a bit. It's not. We take it very seriously. Witchcraft, all of the above. You don't mess with it.
We do.
I also think I have, as she wrestles with her sleeves, I was about to go into it. I believe I have a ghost in my house. I can't remember if I talked about it on the show yet or not, though.
I don't think so.
I've invited a ghost in inadvertently. I've done something and I said something inappropriate, not something inappropriate, but you know, I was just saying like a cleansing kind of wording in the house. And yeah, I think I said something just kind of worded a little bit wrong. And since then, and this has never happened before, I have a cabinet that has little lights inside the cabinet that they're like, there's like a touch sensor inside. That's how they turn on. They've been turning on their own. You can only turn them on by opening the cabinet and turning them on. And I haven't opened it and they're turning themselves on. And then the other day, both of my remote controls for the TV were sitting on a side table. TV turned itself on. And again, that's never happened. It's never happened before.
No.
I said this. So I think I have to do another, like another ritual. Like I have to do another kind of like, I have to talk to the ghost. Now, the good news is that I don't feel like the ghost is a bad ghost or an evil ghost. Like I don't feel uncomfortable, but I do think that I've invited something in.
Well, I mean, at least we know it was before Spider-Man face.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh God, what a ding dong. What a total ding dong. Listen, let's take a quick break. My drink is empty. I want to get into this other one. We're going to come back. We're going to come to a decision about what we're doing with the little Spider-Man situation. We're going to talk about another cocktail. We've got lots more to come on this truly chaotic, off the rails Holiday Hootenanny to hoot to nanny. All right, let's do a clap on 3. 1, 2, 3. Welcome back to this episode of True Crime and Cocktails. Of course, we're hootening, we're nannying. It's a whole heck of a lot of fun. Before the break, we were, of course, talking about the little Spider-Man, the Tom Holland effect. We discussed it at some length in the break.
We did.
The best move would be, and here's what we've decided, as a united front, which I like.
Always.
This is what it is. I'll use Keanu Reeves as an example because everyone has a crush on Keanu Reeves. Men, women,
everyone,
every
gender possible.
Every gender, man or woman, non-binary, doesn't matter. I think it's pretty across the board. Let's say I stand on here and say I have a crush on Keanu Reeves. And I have said that publicly before because, again, everybody does. Nobody gets hurt. And then there's always the possibility that then I show up to work on something and I'm working with Keanu Reeves. And then it's like, oh, does he know about that? Keanu probably not, because I don't think he does social media or even the internet. So I feel like,
he's
again,
too pure. That's why he's so pure. He doesn't touch the internet.
Exactly. But if it was somebody else, it could be weird. It could be awkward. And then also for it's always been an issue for me. Part of the reason why, here, truth moment. We talked about the Blanche list last week, I believe, or the week before. Part of the reason why I rarely talk about celebrity crushes is because it's always been an issue for me in relationships, because they're like, well, you could actually meet them, which is true. So then it's awkward in relationships. You know what I mean? You're in a relationship and then there's something out there floating around that's like, oh, I have a crush on so-and-so. And then it's like, well, and then God forbid I book something with that person. Then my life's a living hell with my new partner. I don't have a new partner, for the record. Make no mistake. But anyway, so that's why we're going to keep it all. We're going to keep the cards close to our chest, the tarot cards close to our chest. Now, what are you giggling about over there?
As soon as you said it, you remember, of course you do, the episode of Friends when Ross wanted to make basically the hall pass list of women he was allowed to sleep with, and Rachel just had to accept it. That planted a seed in there. And so I commented, mostly jokingly, to my husband before he was my husband. I think we were at least engaged by that point, but I commented that maybe we should consider having a celebrity version of those cards ourselves. The idea of him with anybody else enrages me like the flame of 1,000 suns. But I was like, just like, maybe we should. His response, which is still so true to this day, was, no, we can't do that, because you're gonna pick all like little known like Canadian celebrities and you'll actually meet them, and I can't let that happen. And the answer is, yeah, I probably would. I probably would. The point is, Blanches be blanching.
Blanches be blanching. But also, I am a professional businesswoman.
Of course.
And I can't have receipts dressed like this coming to haunt me. It's not practical. It's not
no,
practical.
We're going to shove this one down and forget that it was there until the day I want regal Liberace outfits, and then I've got them.
But you know what we're going to do is we're going to record something privately when we're done in this makeup. And so then, much like Johnny Carson with the envelope, if it does happen, then we can have the receipt to prove it in the dumb makeup. Yeah.
Oh, that's right. That's
what we
really
do.
Right.
That
feels
what we
really
do.
Right.
All right. But moving on we're back on the track, back on the railroad track. Toot, toot. It's time for our next signature cocktail of the night. Now, this was my choice tonight. It's something I'm calling the judge's gavel, because when it comes down, it packs a punch. Now, essentially what this is a raspberry mint mojito, and it is an ace. Again, we will post these recipes on our socials. But it's not the Scoot last year, which did involve a muddling of a mint. That's the only thing that's the same between that and this. But again, I thought I would bring mint to the table because it was such a hit last year. This is suggesting, it says a low ball glass, but you can put it in any glass. Don't you worry about glassware. Yeah. Add several leaves of fresh mint, 4 to 5 raspberries, a couple of ice cubes, and half an ounce of rum. Muddle gently to mix and smash the mint and raspberries, releasing their flavors into the ice and rum, which I was like, oh, that's interesting. Mm-hmm. Now, what I did was I did that, and then I took a strainer and I really kind of like ground it through. And then I put all of the muck in there too, but it was just really kind of like, you know what I mean?
I was not gentle.
Of course.
I'm too cut to be gentle. I'm done. I had to make these drunkenly in a house where everyone else seems to be asleep. So I tried to be as quiet as possible, which means I was like a fucking brass band out there. And well, the point is I've made one.
Yeah,
And then, I like one that I can pour into the glass.
of course.
I didn't have a glass the same size. So in my logic, well, I guess I'll just make the second one a double. Pour it into there. So
Mm-hmm.
toot toot. Good luck
Well,
to us all.
well, yes, yes, absolutely. Good luck. Yes, good luck to us all. But back to the recipe.
Yep. So sorry.
No, I love it. Then it says add a slice of lime. That's not what I did. I squeezed a lime in there. I was like, I want the juice. You know what I mean? I want the flavor of the lime.
I put 2 slices of lime and I don't regret it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it needs more lime. I'm gonna, you know what? Again, I found this recipe online, but I'm gonna when we post it, I'm gonna add some of my changes that I think are better.
Of course.
Add the remaining rum and some Sprite, garnish with some extra mint leaves, raspberries, and enjoy. And let me tell you something. This is so refreshing.
That is the exact word for it. It is.
Right?
I also realized earlier when we were talking about cups, I said that I was going to use a highball glass. No, bitch, you're not. I used a lowball glass like it told me to. And yeah, I put extra lime in mine for the second one and third one.
Mm-hmm.
I also put some lime juice in that. And some extra lime, and it said like I did like so much mint and so many raspberries. So we'll see what happens when that one hits. But yeah, I'm living for this. I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Very refreshing. Again, last year it was the Cran Sparkle Scoot, and that one had, I believe, ginger ale in it, and it had mint and cranberry. So this is quite different. But I really am enjoying it.
I would like one of these on a hot summer afternoon sitting by a pool.
Yes, this definitely has that vibe. But what I like is that I gravitated to something that was in the same world as last year, and so did you. Not that, I mean, yours was a little bit different because the last one was a dirty Slurpee, but I felt like mine could have, again, if you left the fruit frozen, it does go into like a smoothie type world. What I like is that we're just true to ourselves and our roots.
Yeah, I like that we were like given the challenge, go find a drink. I like that I spent a weekend drunk to get where I needed it to get. But I like that we both ended up with ones that were both fruit.
Yeah.
And Sprite.
I know.
It just feels right. And I think we knocked these ones out of the park.
I agree. Delicious.
Yes.
Now, listen, the next thing that is on our schedule is, of course, we do need to give the people just a little bit of a backstory about our crazy 71 hours in Las Vegas, Nevada.
I like that you specify 71 hours.
Yeah.
Because thank God it dropped like days before we left, didn't it? There's a new rule came out. I think it's specifically Canada's rule, where if you're out of the country for less than 72 hours, you don't need the fancy COVID test to get back in the country. We took our test going there, but because we took it less than 72 hours before we were coming back, they were like, those results still stand, you're good to go. And we, of course, were very careful, masked everywhere we could. We are both vaccinated, et cetera, et cetera. And yeah, what a whirlwind.
Yeah. Now, Christy had never been to Vegas before.
Never.
And so I planned the fuck out of that trip. I gave the most Vegas experience possible. And man, we went for it.
Yeah. I mean, my first time in Vegas.
Yeah.
My first time being picked up at the airport with someone with a sign with my name on it.
Yep.
My first ride in a limo.
Yeah.
I had never been in a limo before that. My first time playing roulette.
Yep.
We did the high roller, which is that very, very large. I don't know. What do you consider that? It's like the London Eye or whatever it's called, isn't it?
Yeah. It's
visually,
like a giant Ferris wheel, but the cars are like, it's like a room. that you
Yeah.
stand in. Like you're not, seated or belted in because it's like a room. And I did, of course, choose for us to go on the all you can drink car. Now the ride itself, it takes about 23 or 24 minutes to go all the way around. And basically it's just like, how fast can you drink? Let's go. That
Well,
was the moment where I looked over at Christy and she was double fisting and her eyes, the light had gone out.
because by that point, that was like 5-ish, between 4 and 5.
Yes.
Our first drink was with lunch.
Yes.
And then it kept going till 2 a.m. It was the longest stretch that I have been drunk. I normally am like, as soon as I'm like, my body feels a cocktail in it, and it's like, oh, you better tinkle. I don't know when I peed because I didn't have to. I just kept drinking, and I think the next day I was like, oh, I'm so hungover. No, I think I was still drunk because I was hungover the day after that.
Yeah.
But the day I thought I was hungover, I still rallied.
Oh, like a champ.
I got in there. I couldn't drink that day because it was my first time, yet again, firsts, being in the same room as the one and only Dave Grohl.
Yes.
And
Saturday, yes.
I told you I needed to be sober. I could not be drunk for that. I also had to be sober in the afternoon because I inexplicably decided on the plane to get a tattoo while I was in Vegas. There's also that. The great news is I've been home for just over a week and I don't regret it one bit. So
good.
That's a fun thing. It was just a really fun, like, on the plane ride going, oh, that has to happen. And my husband going, okay, like, yeah, right. And then like the next morning waking up and going, I've booked an appointment. And that's just where we're at. But I had to stay sober that day for that appointment. And because I had to meet, and by meet, I mean just be in the same room. He didn't know I was there, but that's okay. Dave Grohl, I had to be sober for that experience. And then the next day to fly home, I was viciously hungover. But if you're not leaving Vegas just like death, then I don't think you did it right. And then the point is, no, oh God, I went for it. The thing is, I don't think, and again, I didn't have an out of body experience to see myself. I don't think when I say I was drunk for like 16 hours, I don't think I was sloppy drunk. Like I wasn't falling over. I was just, somehow I managed to have just enough alcohol in my system at all times that I was just comfortably buzzed. So I was ready, having a good time. What I wouldn't give to be sitting back at that slot machine with you. Oh, what a gift in my life.
Name a price, I'd pay it.
Right?
Any price.
I mean,
oh yeah.
That it was also the time I had easily the fanciest dinner of my entire life.
Yeah.
I'm still dreaming of that duck. Apologies to friend of the podcast, Whitney.
Thank you.
I know she's not a fan of eating duck.
She loves Donald Duck. This is the truth, to such a level that she won't allow herself to eat duck, which I think is one of the most charming things I've ever heard. But yes.
Oh, it's beautiful. And I debated about not getting it for her.
She doesn't want that.
She was like, no, you do what you need to do.
Yeah.
But it was a duck braised risotto, and it had these like cherry bits on top. I've been chasing the high ever since, and it's just, I'm not finding it. I will go through many bags of McDonald's finding it, but I get it. I will never find it.
That meal was incredible. I gotta say, I've eaten a lot of good food in my life, and that one was up there.
It was so good, so good. And I mean, Jesus, just like overall, like everything we ate was so good. That I had that mac and cheese where the waitress was like, would you like, or the server maybe perhaps, was just like, hey, do you want bacon and mushrooms on that? And I just went, yep. like without even thinking. And it was so good. Oh, and then it was, do you want like a pulled pork on it? I'm like, I do. It was so good. And you think it would be too much, but somehow it was salty and sweet and so perfect all together. But it was good food and good people and good booze. And what a crew. What a crew. What a beautiful time. It'll be something that I dream about for life. That's just how it goes.
Then I did my job.
Of course you did. It was, I mean, there's not going to be enough in the world to thank you for that trip. I have some plans, but that's neither here nor there.
It's not necessary. It's not necessary.
Try and stop me.
Yeah, so when I surprised Christy for her birthday, I brought her gifts, and then the final gift was a t-shirt that I had made. When I learned that you can't put the name Dave Grohl on a t-shirt. It's a copyright thing. I get that you can't put the image. I got that, but you couldn't even put the name. I was shocked because what I wanted to do was make a t-shirt that said, "Hello, Dave Grohl," since Christy, of course, always says goodnight, Dave Grohl, at the end of every episode of the podcast. So I couldn't do that. So then I pivoted and I made a logo that said Christy's birthday foo crew. And then on the back, it had the information about the concert and it listed everyone who was going. And then I had t-shirts made, of course, for everyone who was in attendance, which was, of course, myself, Christy and her husband, friend of the podcast, Leslie Seiler and her husband. Shout out to Paul PK Kingston. And of course, friend of the podcast, Whitney and her husband, Brian. And Seiler PK and I got there on Thursday. Christy and her husband flew in on Thursday. And then Whitney and Brian joined on Friday. And that was Friday is when it got kicked up. That's when we got on the high roller. Then it was get back and get changed because we're going to the fancy dinner. Christy 2 days prior had dropped on me that she's never been in a limo. So then I was like, well, that won't do. Not on my watch. So then I was like, I guess I got to make that happen, which I did. We did a beautiful drive up and down the strip on our way to dinner. But Underwear Stylist also made an appearance, not in her underwear. But there was Christy had ordered some outfits for this dinner, some fancy outfits, and she was worried they weren't going to get there in time. And so I, of course, brought some extra stuff. And then, of course, I got you into that very, very short sequined dress. And you looked like $1 million, baby.
It is the shortest thing I've worn in my life. And I like to sleep in a very short, but it was the shortest thing. But when in Vegas, you you told me about this with just enough time that I could start ordering things online. And my gut instinct was obviously sequins. So everything I ordered had sequins on it. Yep. I took so much stuff, didn't end up wearing half of it, but I had to have it for stylist to make sure, see how it goes. And what a journey.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the pink coat. I brought the pink coat.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it looked so fabulous. Yeah. And then Saturday, it was one of those things I was concocting this plan, and that was the weekend that was going to just make sense for everybody. And Whitney was the one who was like, well, is there any like special shows going on that weekend? And I literally just Googled Vegas and the date. And the first thing that came up was the Foo Fighters. And I was like, well, that is synergy if I've ever seen it. And so of course got the tickets, and thank God there was some available. And I will say that first of all, it was amazing to be at a concert. Everyone had to be showing proof of vaccination or a negative test. You had to wear a mask inside there, but they started with Times Like These, which if you're a fan of the band, you'll know the song. And I cried so hard. And it was one of those things where, of course, it's loud, you're a concert, whatever. And I just decided to let myself go. I was like, no one's gonna look at me. No one's gonna hear me, whatever.
No.
But Whitney was standing behind me and she's like, I could hear you sobbing over the music. Cause I was literally just like, like it was like this, like very like deep sobs.
Yep.
Just
that
that
feels
song,
right.
that song always, that's a song that like I listen to, it's in my breakup playlist. It's in my You're Doing Great playlist. I just think there's so many ways you can kind of listen to that
course.
song. But then, of course, given what the past couple years have been, it was just like, oh, this is so perfect. I cried 4 times during that show. 4
You did.
times.
Yeah.
It was a lot of tears,
Yeah.
but God, was it magical. It just was.
It was so good. I was doing great. I lost my mind when he came out.
Yep.
It was that moment where I was like, oh my God, Dave Grohl is real.
Yes.
As though he was some angel I had dreamed up on my own. I think my husband took video of you and I reacting to them coming out. Because I said beforehand, I'm going to become another person and I don't know what that person is. And I need you to accept it because I can't be held responsible for what's going to happen. I made it, I'd say over halfway through the show. Like of course, a great time. And then they played Walk.
Yeah.
And that was bigger than me.
Yep.
And I just was so overcome. And it was the moment and just full cry. Like, not like she teared up a little bit, dab a napkin, she's fine. No. Full sobbed. And that was the exact moment that before the show, while we were all standing around, people commented about the shirts and it was pointed out it was my birthday, all of this. And there was a gentleman, I don't know where he was from because I never spoke with him. He gave like a wave, like oh, hey, happy birthday. I was like, oh, thanks. Throughout the show, we ended up kind of side by side. And it was at that moment when I was sloppy crying that we happened to make eye contact. And he went, oh, hey, birthday girl. And I watched his face realize that I was just like, like, and he was just like, oh, she's having a terrible time. And it's like, oh, no, there was something about that song in that moment, just the people, Dave, all of it. It was just so magical that it was bigger than me. And I full cry, but it was just that like, hey, birthday girl, like that. You could hear the break in his voice as he was like, oh, no, I can't do that. And I was like, no, it's fine. I was unwell. I think
a lot of people were crying there though. I know a lot of people at various points. It just felt very emotional in general. And it's interesting, Leslie Seiler, who does not know music, she really doesn't. Post Elvis, she doesn't know it. She had the greatest comment about Dave Grohl, which I thought was so fascinating as someone who, she maybe has heard them, but I don't think that if you had a gun to her head and you were like, pick out the song, she would probably not survive.
We did that in the limo on the way there.
We did. And
we were like, who sings this song? And she was like, no, I don't know.
I think she said she guessed. I mean, some of the guesses, I think Smash Mouth may have been one. It doesn't matter. The point is Soundgarden. I don't know.
We all have our strengths.
We all have our strengths. The one thing she said about Dave Grohl, because she loved the show. And again, as someone who doesn't really know the music, whatever, she even said she'd like to go to another concert. And I was like, wow, okay, we've got her. But she said, you know what it is? She said, he really sings the songs.
He does.
And I was like, that's exactly what it is. Because when you see other singers perform, they perform and they can be great and be great singers. But Dave Grohl, and I in general, but I think especially that night, it was a different level. It was just like, he was really like, every one of those words was being conveyed. And again, I do think he does that in general. I think it's the heaviness of the past couple of years and all of us, whatever, that I think it, and I think them being so excited to perform, I think it probably just elevated a little bit. But I was like, that's such a astute note and is so true. And I think that is what's so special about him, is that it's like, it's not just somebody singing. It's somebody who's like communicating through song, which I thought was, again, brilliant. The other thing I do have to say, Taylor, who plays drums in the band. At one point, Dave Grohl's playing drums, which is a dream. Again, that's like a life moment, getting to watch Dave Grohl play drums live. And Taylor sang Somebody to Love by Queen, which is my go-to karaoke song. And then I was like, is he my soulmate? And then I had this bigger moment because watching the love between Dave and Taylor, and they love each other so much, and they're very effusive and very supportive, and they really like to like big each other up and whatever. I was like, am I the Dave Grohl to Christy's Taylor?
Yep.
And then I was like, I think that's what it is. That
Well,
also
yeah.
made me cry, but that doesn't matter. The point is, it felt right. It was a beautiful trip. And I
Yes.
think, I think the best quote I will attribute to Leslie Seiler, friend of the podcast, which was Saturday morning. So at this point, it's day 3. We're at brunch. And the quote was, "This mimosa is going down like hot fire, and I think I might die today. Well, happy birthday."
Yeah.
And that really does sum it up, because there
It
was,
does.
just some of the most jolly drunken people just ready to go. And what a time. What a time. I can't wait to go back. Can't wait to go back. I love Vegas.
Oh, before we recorded this, because I always reboot my computer before, I had to close down my tabs, and one of the tabs was what's the Foo Fighters tour schedule?
Mhm. Mhm.
Because
This all tracks.
I refuse to let that be the last. Did I consider, I wonder how my husband feels like Germany in the spring. It's not going to happen, but it's okay. He does come back to America in summer and fall. So the thought has come in of, oh, I would like to see them twice in under a year if I can make that happen.
Absolutely.
And that's where I'm at. So
Listen,
we'll see.
I respect it. I respect it. Now, listen, we didn't think it would be right if we didn't do some sort of Love Actually themed game. I mean, again, we're both
Yeah.
dressed as the little Spider-Mans. It just feels right. So what Christy has done is that she hasn't pre-looked at these lists, but there have been 2 lists that have been created with character names. Now, are we going to time this? Is there a time limit? Or is this just as few words as possible?
I think as few words as possible makes it harder.
Okay. So I didn't know if it was both. You know what I'm saying?
It could be both.
Well,
I mean, there's no rules, no boundaries, but there's rules.
but there's always
You
rules.
know?
So we each have a list of characters, and we have to try to get the other person to guess the character in as few words as possible. And I got to say, I think we have our work cut out for us. I want to keep track of the words.
Oh, I know. Yes, I knew you would want to keep track of who's the official winner.
Yeah, I just, otherwise, why play a game?
What's the point of playing unless you know who won? There's no winner. Oh, there is.
There's always a winner.
Yep.
It may not matter who wins, but
Of course.
there has to be a winner.
Yes.
So
even if it's just the one who follows the rules the best.
thank you.
I get it. We're cut from the same cloth.
We are.
And apparently
We
that
are.
cloth looks like a tiny Spider-Man.
Yep. All right. Well, how about this then? How about we don't put a time limit on it?
Okay.
Or should we put a time limit on it?
I don't know. Oh man, I'm drunk enough. I'm not even sure who one of these characters is.
Now, oh my God, that's amazing. Now, my other question to you is, are we allowed to use, because these are character names, so we're trying to guess the character name.
Correct.
Are we allowed to use the name of the actor that plays them, or should that be off the table?
I feel that's too easy, isn't it?
I agree. Okay,
I'm glad we're getting this out now.
I think you can go, I don't think it has to go in the order. I think you can jump around as much as you like.
I agree.
All right. Okay. Well, then do we just go for it? How about this? Should I set a time
and see how many we can get in that time?
Yeah. So we'll put like 2 minutes on the clock for me, see how many we get in how few words. And then we'll do 2 minutes on the clock for you. And then we'll reassess.
Okay.
All right. Do you want to go first or do you want me to go?
That's tough. I mean, if you want to go first, that's fine with me.
Okay.
I'm good either way.
All right.
Yep. I forgot we were playing games. I've had I've had too many.
All right. I got 2 minutes on the clock. I'm using as few words possible as I can to get as many of these correct in 2 minutes. And we are going.
Yeah.
Rock star.
Oh, Billy Mack.
Yes. Cooley.
Daniel.
Yes. Cheater.
Oh no, what's his name? It's Alan Rickman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh fuck. What's his name? So sorry. I don't normally outright F word. Outright F word. What the hell is that? Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. What's his character's name? Oh, I don't know.
Blank
his character's
and
Harry.
Harry. Girl singer.
Olivia. No? Girl singer.
Mm-hmm. Okay, let's pass.
Yeah.
Slutty.
Was that Mia?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Idiot.
Colin.
No.
Oh, idiot.
Brother.
Jamie?
No, we'll pass. Porn woman.
Oh, just Judy.
Mm-hmm. Man.
John?
Mm-hmm. Hot.
Oh. There's a lot of those. Oh my god, is that Who Married Juliet?
That's time.
Kate?
Okay. I'm realizing character names is gonna be tough.
Because you know them, but the character names is tough because a lot of times they don't even say them.
Right.
Oh, that's okay. Okay.
All right.
Oh my god. You meant Carl.
Well, we might do a second round, so don't worry.
We'll see. Okay.
Okay. Ready? 2 minutes on the clock.
Yep.
And go.
Cream.
Oh, I'm already shitting the bed.
Maid.
Aurelia.
Big knob.
Colin. Frizzle.
Portuguese.
What's his name? The Colin Firth character, no?
Yep.
Damn it. What the hell is his name?
I know. Okay, skip. Manager.
Harry?
No.
Damn it.
Okay.
You mean Billy Mack's manager? What the hell is his name?
Yes. Okay, pass. A bit wibbly.
Oh. This is embarrassing.
Okay, pass.
Yep.
A dominatrix.
Oh. Well, it's Emma Thompson's character.
Yep.
What is her name?
I feel less bad about the Harry situation.
I mean, this is bad.
Kate, it's okay. Pass.
Yep.
Drummer.
Oh, the little boy, Sam.
Yep. Kate, big thighs.
Oh, well, it's Hugh Grant's gal.
Yeah.
Who is so little.
So little.
That's time.
Well,
Now, here's what you're going to love. We each use 14 words.
Oh, that's something.
Yep. But I got you to guess 6 correctly. How many did you give
You
me to
guessed
guess?
3.
Oh, but that's more on me than you.
No. See, that's the thing. You think it's easy, and then you're like, what are their names?
I know.
That's the problem. Well, this
That's
game is harder
tough.
than we thought.
Yeah. Well, listen, let's do one last round.
Yes. And for clarification's sake, I do not think she has big thighs. I'm only
Of
saying it
course.
because it's mentioned in the movie. She is a tiny woman.
She is.
Oh, I'm spitting, and you'll notice because my makeup will come off. I'm hammered. It's fine.
Oh, I love it. All right, here we go. 2 more minutes.
Yep.
This is how we do it.
Oh, it's Friday night.
This is a joy. All right, here we go.
Yeah.
And Knightley's husband.
Oh, who does she marry? Oh, I don't know his name.
I know.
I
Well,
don't know his name.
okay, pass.
Okay.
Hot.
Carl.
Mm-hmm. Idiot.
Sarah?
Yes. We'll talk about that in a minute.
Yep.
Okay, there's only 2 left. So the one, of course, is girl singer. And you know who it is. You just didn't get the name right.
I think that's her. I think her real name is Olivia. Is the problem? Because Ferb loves her. Sorry. Sam loves her.
Yes.
Oh God, what is her name?
Chip and blank
Dale
Gaines.
I don't know who those people are,
Okay.
which is why I said the chipmunks or the strippers. Either way.
Okay. Pass.
Yeah. Joanna.
There it is. Finally, we're
Yeah.
back to blank pan.
Blank Peter?
There it is.
No shit.
Yeah.
Huh. Well. Okay. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Are we
I'm
ready?
Yep.
Okay.
Go.
I hate Uncle.
Jamie.
Yep. Billy Mac's manager.
Joe.
Yes.
Yes.
Romeo and
Juliet.
yes. Joni Mitchell.
Oh shit. It's Emma Thompson's character.
Yep.
What is her fucking name?
She's such a
Bitch.
what's a female name for bitch
Oh.
according to the world? Not us. If she was here right now, she'd film us and call the police.
Karen.
There it is. Singer merchant.
Natalie.
Yes. 8 is a lot of legs. Finish the statement.
I can hear it. I can
Yep.
hear it in my
I
damn
know
head.
you can. Copperfield.
David.
Yes. Oh, to me, you are perfect.
Oh, what is his name? What is his damn name? He's my favorite. He's Andrew Lincoln.
Hamill.
Mark.
Yes.
We did it.
We did it.
Oh, fabulous. All right.
See, my
So-
problem is I forget that you can go off book and do
Well,
things like Hamill, when you're
I
desperate.
think we had to because we had to.
We don't know their names. We
Well,
watched
this is
the
what we've
movie
learned.
repeatedly, but we don't know their names.
Okay. Here's
Yeah.
what's great. So we both got all of them at the end of the day.
Of course.
You had 24 seconds left. I had only 18 seconds left. But in terms of how many total words used, I'm going to do the math
I went
really quick.
over. I went over.
Okay. So I used a total for the whole game, 26 words. You used 53. You went on a run with Karen, but listen, that's the only reason why.
Of course.
And you still had more time left than I did. A good game. Good game.
If we've learned anything, we should have left the actor name in there and then we would have been fine.
Oh, I mean, we would have had it immediately.
Of course.
Immediately.
Of course.
But again, oh, what a gift. Listen, let's take one last break. Get him another drink. We're going to come on back. Maybe another game, maybe a couple other things. A beautiful send off on this Holiday Hootenanny episode of True Crime and Cocktails. All right. One last clap.
Yep.
1, 2, 3. Welcome back to this episode of True Crime and Cocktails. Of course, we're hooting, we're nannying. It's the Holiday Hootenanny. Before the break, oh God, so sorry. Just the littlest bit of puke came up the back of my throat.
Wow, I thought if it was going to be any of us, it'd be this one over here.
Oh,
well,
listen.
The idea that just just a scotch of puke has come up. Well, in the immortal words of Montel Jordan, this is how we do it.
I want you to know what I've done here. And I also want you to know that I thought that in my moment of brilliance in the kitchen just now, I had done this properly and I haven't. I was rushing and I've cocked it up. But what I did was I took some of the frozen strawberries, frozen mango, fresh raspberries, blended them together. I didn't get them all blended is what I'm learning now. But then I poured Sprite in there, a bunch of lime, vodka and rum. And what I'm saying is that I'd like to call this just chaos.
Yeah, look. The extra lime in this double that I made, it's hitting right.
Yeah, right? All right, listen. We got another game here.
Yeah.
And this is a fun one because you can play along at home. Movie quotes. We're going to give you a quote.
Yeah.
And do you have a list of these as well?
I have a list. I have a level 1 and a level 2.
But our lists are different is my question.
Yes.
Beautiful.
They are.
So there's level 1, level 2. Just one single line. And you got to guess what movie it's from.
Yeah.
Christmas movie. Let's do it. I love it.
Yeah. Well, best of luck to me.
Well, this one I think you'll get.
Okay.
And we're going to have the happiest Christmas.
National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Nice.
You know I'm coming with full titles.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. Do you want to go back and forth?
Oh, I think that'd be great.
Okay, great.
I never thought it was such a bad little tree. It's not bad at all, really. Maybe it just needs a little love.
Is that a Charlie Brown Christmas?
You bet your sweet ass it is.
Thank you so much.
Well, call it like I see it. There's Brandy and me somewhere today, so
yep,
it makes sense.
You're doing great. You'll shoot your eye out, kid.
Oh, A Christmas Story.
Yeah. What I like is that I don't have an answer key here, but I just know.
Of course, I do. In my defense, I did warn you there was no answer key, but I should have warned you twice.
Yep. Oh yeah. I barely retain information anymore. In general.
Nope. So that's on both of us. But you know what? You're going to do great. Worst case, we have to Google. It'll be great.
Yep. It's going to be good.
God bless us, everyone.
Now, I believe that is A Christmas Carol.
Again, sweet ass, correct.
Here's one. Merry Christmas, you filthy animal.
Oh, that would be Home Alone 2 Lost in New York.
Oh, now don't they also say it in Home Alone?
They do not.
Really?
They say it a different way, I believe.
Okay.
I'm willing for us to Google it. And if I'm incorrect, I will take the loss. But I am confident that it is said in a different way in the first one.
I love this.
I am very passionate about Home Alone 1 and 2, none of the rest of the series. And I think everyone can appreciate that. When Home Alone 1 came out in theaters, I was living in Yorkton, Saskatchewan. Shout out. And I remember distinctly going to the theater, and there was a life-size cutout of Macaulay Culkin, who was to die for. And I entered a contest to win to go to meet him. I did not, because you would have found out in episode 1 of our podcast, because I would still be talking about it. But the point is, I entered, and I really thought we'd have something. And who am I to say we don't? Call me Macaulay. That's a new one for our list.
Call me. Yeah, Macaulay. Who knew?
Macaulay Culkin. And you know what? Throw Kieran on there. And all 3 Lawrence brothers.
The Blanche list is expanding by the second.
And Idris Elba.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. That's bigger than me.
Here is the answer. The answer is you are correct. The line in the first movie is keep the change, you filthy animal.
There it is.
Merry Christmas, you filthy animal is from Home Alone 2 Lost in New York. You are a genius.
I stand by it. I watch those 2 every year. And sometimes just when I feel it.
I love it.
Again, I might watch it more if I'd won that contest. No. No, I wouldn't be able to watch it at all, because it would be awkward to watch it when your husband's in it. Am I suggesting if he'd met me when I was 10, he would have just dated me for long enough and married me? He did marry Rachel Miner when they were minors, did he not?
Well, it should also be noted he recently, I read something recently where he was saying that when he was dating, if he would like flip the channels with a girlfriend and Home Alone came on, they'd be like, and he'd be like, people want, and he's like, they want to watch it with the kid who's in it. And he's like, I'd do it.
First of all, that's charming as hell. Second of all, I don't think I want to watch it with the kid that was in it. That's weird. That's weird for me. But like, if he wants to watch it with someone else who watched as a child, I mean, I guess that's a fetish I could do. Fetish.
There's something about you saying all of this in that getup that just puts it through a new lens. You know what I mean?
Even though I'm like, I can see my own face. Every time I go to the bathroom, I full crack up. Every time.
Both breaks, I went into the kitchen, made a drink, came back. And when I glanced up, I was like, oh, like I forgot that I.
AKA every year.
Every year. Ever so coolly.
I can't wait. I can't wait.
All right. It's your go.
You have such a pretty face. You should be on a Christmas card.
Oh, you have such a pretty face. You should be on a Christmas card. What is that? I know this.
You do.
Oh, this is hell. I know this.
Yeah.
What is it?
Elf.
It is Elf.
It is.
Damn it. Well,
okay. It's okay. You'll come back. You'll come back.
You win some, you lose some. Here's one for you. The best way to spread Christmas cheer is singing loud for all to hear.
That is Elf.
Yeah, I would have got that one.
Yep. So sorry.
Oh, I'm kidding. It's fine.
Okay. Okay. Here you go. You've got this. You've got this.
Yep.
Nobody's walking out on this fun old-fashioned family Christmas.
That would be National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Thank you very much.
What if Christmas perhaps means a little bit more?
Dr. Seuss's How the Grinch Stole Christmas.
I believe that is correct.
I believe, because you don't have the answer.
There's no answer key, but I believe it. No, I know that's
I
correct.
trust
I know
you
that's
more
correct.
than I trust anybody else when it
I
comes
know
to
that's
Christmas
correct.
trivia, of course. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
It's a Wonderful Life,
Indeed it is.
isn't it? It
Yeah.
is right now.
Yeah. Shout out Dave Grohl. Why? No.
If something should happen to me, put on my suit. The reindeer will know what to do.
Oh, I watched this 2 days ago. The Santa Claus.
There you go.
Now, I don't have to, but I feel I should do this in a voice.
Oh, please.
Bye, buddy. I hope you find your dad.
That's help. And thank you. It was really accurate.
Thank you.
Now we're moving
Thank
up to
you.
level 2.
Yeah, we are.
And this is where it might get dicey.
This is where it is going to get dicey. I guarantee it.
All right. Number 1.
Mm-hmm.
You can mess with a lot of things, but you can't mess with kids on Christmas.
Oh. Kids on Christmas. Oh no. This this doesn't feel right, but I'm just going to say Home Alone.
I think that's right. I will do a Google. I think you're right.
I actually didn't think I was right,
Oh,
but I love that. Of course, you would think I was right.
I think you are right. Well, let's see. Yep, correct.
No shit. Well, that's National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Oh,
yep.
now, well, actually, I spoke too soon. It
Oh,
is
no.
Home Alone 2.
Oh, fuck. Okay. See, no, I was inaccurate.
But I mean, listen, I'd still give it to you.
Of course you would. You would go around every rule for me if you needed to.
Exactly.
All right. I will honor Christmas in my heart and try to keep it all the year.
Christmas in my heart, try and keep it all year. Miracle on 34th Street.
A Christmas Carol.
Damn it.
Yeah. No, it's okay. It's okay.
Well, here's one that's very similar.
Yeah.
Just remember, the true spirit of Christmas lies in your heart.
Oh no. Polar Express.
I don't know.
I like that because I don't know for sure.
I don't know that I've ever seen Polar Express.
I'm not a fan, and I might get some hate for that, and it's okay because you know what? It's okay if people don't agree on things or don't like things. I think people can agree that the animation in that is unsettling. I don't think Tom Hanks can do any wrong, but the animation in that movie is unsettling. So,
well, what if I told you that you were correct?
No shit.
Yeah, you're doing great.
I've seen it a few times, once
I don't
out
think
of
I've ever seen it.
curiosity and once for the sake of having my kids see it. But yeah, there's something off about the children in that movie.
It's the tone you use. There's something off about the children in that movie.
They're like, if you told me that half, I only actually watched the first half and the last half, the children started eating people, I would believe you.
Well, now I want to watch it.
Yeah, it's something. Okay. Here you go.
Yeah.
You've got this.
Okay.
I don't hate you, Nick. I just wish you'd never been born.
Fred Claus.
100%.
Yep. Now that's a movie I know.
I watched it the other day. Vince Vaughn in a Christmas movie. I love it.
You know what I love about that movie?
Oh, I can't wait.
Here
Paul
we go.
Giamatti.
Paul Giamatti plays that character
Yeah.
so grounded and real. Like
Yes.
he just, I love that performance. I think that performance is next level.
Yes.
Here's their next one.
Yeah.
You're skipping Christmas? Isn't that against the law?
Oh no, this is the one you really love.
I love this one.
Christmas with the Cranks.
It is. It
Yep.
is. And it's a romp. If you haven't watched that, dear listeners, give it a watch. Jamie Lee Curtis, what fun.
Her and I are birthday buddies.
Exactly.
I forgot to mention that when we mentioned my birthday earlier on the podcast. Earlier,
Well,
not today, but earlier. Earlier.
No, you did.
Oh. Well, forgive me. I'm shit-faced. 'Tis the season.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, God. Okay. We're your worst nightmare. Elves with attitude.
They're your worst nightmare. Elves with attitude.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know this one?
I do, because I watched it the other day.
Damn it.
I'm so sorry. It's only because I watched it the other day that I'm like, yeah, that's familiar.
Is it the Santa Claus?
It is.
Ah, so you gave me a clue.
It still counts.
Thank you. I
Still
haven't.
counts.
I actually really like the Santa Claus. I just haven't watched it yet this year.
I just want to say that platinum pixie cut combined with that blouse is fucking working, you know?
Right?
Like you're somehow smizing through that Spider-Man makeup. And Tyra Banks would be proud.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Here we go. Just a couple more.
Yep.
Old flames are like old tax returns. Put them in the file cabinet for 3 years, then you cut them loose.
Well, that's my dear friend Nick Cage in The Family Man.
There it is.
I love that movie. Unrealistically so. Like I love it so much it's uncomfortable.
As an
for
update,
everyone.
also, we talked about that. Was it in it? I don't know if it was a Patreon episode or the normal podcast, but
I don't remember.
I did have a boyfriend in high school. We were at a movie and there was a preview for The Family Man and I cried. And then he made a whole thing. He was like, she's crying in the preview. So Christy, after we were done recording, found the main trailer and we're watching it over Zoom and I'm watching it and I'm like, what is it about this thing that made me cry? And then in the last 20 seconds, I was like, there it is.
Yeah. You
I went and I cried again.
got there.
I was like,
you
yep.
got there.
Yep.
You did. It
Yep.
was beautiful to see.
All
right.
Doesn't take a lot to get the old gal turning on the waterworks, but there you
I
go.
like it. You're comfortable being vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's lovely.
Bless.
All right. Guys, I'm eating junk and watching rubbish. You better come out and stop me.
That would be Home Alone, the first
Would
one.
be correct.
Boys, I don't want to speak ill of your mother on Christmas, but she's nothing but a common street whore.
Oh God. I want to say Four Christmases because it's Vince Vaughn, and that wasn't Vince Vaughn that said it, but I know Vince Vaughn and I know Vince Vaughn Christmas.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
And I stand by. Was Vince Vaughn on the list yet?
Of your list?
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't think so.
The point is, I'm doing my best to give the gift of extra names. You'll love this. Joe Jonas.
What?
Seth Meyers. I love that it's just like a grocery list at this point.
Just like what I like completely out of context. Vince Vaughn, Joe Jonas, Seth Meyers.
Blanche has no type, is what I'm learning.
I know.
But
and I think that's nice.
look, if I'm giving any holiday gift, It is just, I'm trying to surpass that 15 from a Patreon episode. I don't know if I have. Fuck, I should have been keeping counting. Keeping counting. Woo.
Just keep going. You'll do it eventually.
Yeah. Yeah. You'll love this. I can't think of people I haven't mentioned already.
I am shocked it took this long for Idris Elba. That seems impossible.
Yeah. Mark Wahlberg. There he is. I was thinking Michael, what's that Michael? Oh no. I can see his face. I can't hear.
Everything's funny to me right now.
I can see his face, but I can't hear his name. That makes sense to me. No. Yeah, there he is. Oh no. Michael Eli. I think that's how you say that.
Oh, Ealy.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
He was in the barbershop movies, or at least in one of them, and in a Fast and Furious, I think. Oh my God. I think he was in Too Fast, Too Furious. Too Nanny. That's synergy. Paul Walker.
May he rest. May he rest.
Yeah.
You were right. It was Four Christmases. That was correct.
Okay. That makes me feel good. I watch that movie every year. Again, Vince Vaughn and Christmas. If he wants to make a Christmas movie, I'm going to fucking watch it.
Let's do it.
I don't watch every Christmas movie, so I'm starting to get picky about it. But Vince Vaughn, if he's going to put one out, I'll do it.
Yep.
Let's see where we go. It's Christmas Eve. It's the one night a year when we all act a little nicer, we smile a little easier, we cheer a little more. Oh, I feel like mine are harder than yours.
Is that Home Alone?
It's not.
What is it?
It's Scrooged.
Damn it. Of course. Of course. All right. 2 left over here.
Yep.
Faith is believing when common sense tells you not to.
Oh, no. I know that. Miracle on 34th Street?
Let's see. I think it is.
Well, and to that I say Dermot what Dermot Mulroney and McDermott Muldermott? What are their names? There's Dylan McDermott and Dermot Mulroney.
There you go.
They can both go on the list.
And you were correct.
Oh, I didn't. Oh, I'm good. I watched too many. I watched too many. Okay, here we go.
Okay.
My childhood was like the Shawshank Redemption, except I didn't have some old warm black man to share my story with. We have mentioned this one this evening.
Is it Four Christmases?
It is.
Yeah. All right. This is the final one for you.
Yep.
You call this a happy family? Why do we have to have all these kids?
Oh. What? Oh no. With kids. Why do we have to have all these kids? Oh no. Oh, that's not it. What one do they have a lot of kids? I mean, part of me wants to say Home Alone just because there's a lot of kids, but I do not think that's right. No. Oh yeah, fuck. I don't know.
The answer is It's a Wonderful Life.
Oh yeah. Yeah. A peek behind the curtain. I've seen it once.
Yeah.
I know it's a classic. I know everybody loves it.
It's not my favorite either. I
Not
find
my
it
taste.
I find it sad.
Yeah.
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 It's not a bad
Okay.
movie. It's just not one that I want to keep coming back to. Do you know what I mean? Like it's
Fair. Yeah. You see it once, you're good.
Yeah.
All right. Remember, George, no man is a failure who has friends.
Well, that's also It's a Wonderful Life.
It also is It's a Wonderful Life.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, you got 12 out of 13, which is a very impressive score. And I know that I got less.
Do you want to know what you got?
I do.
You got 10.
Well, you know what? Out of 13, that's not bad.
I think that's great. I also feel like mine, the ones you had were easier for me.
Well, you're just trying to be kind.
No. If I was trying to be kind, I would have fucked a few of those on purpose.
That's true. Sorry. I thought you were going somewhere else with that statement.
I'm fairly drunk at this point. It it could go either way. Yeah.
You know,
with where
it's
that
just
was going.
what I like about this tradition is it is the
Yeah.
one time I feel like you just get drunker than me. I don't know whether it's a release for you or what, but it's nice for me.
Well, I felt like after last year, I raised the bar, so I had to show up or put up. What?
Well, you raised the bar, and you know what else you did? You raised me up. That's
Josh Groban.
I think he's already on the list.
Oh, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Now, listen, should we bring it on home with a little something we're calling Christmas favorites and then call it a night?
Now, did I send you the Christmas favorites list?
Nope.
Yep.
I assumed you would quarterback that. Unless you don't have it handy.
No, I have it here. I'm just realizing now, oh shit, I don't think I did that. But yeah, we can. Okay. This was just like we're going to give you one or the other, and then you just pick what's your favorite.
Yeah.
Like a simple Christmas dinner, turkey or ham.
Oh, turkey.
100%.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Christmas morning, open gifts or have breakfast first?
We have a very specific way we do it.
Oh, I like that. This got serious.
Mm-hmm. Wake up, you do your stocking alone in your room. That was to buy my mother more time in bed, I think.
Now, are we talking childhood or as adults?
Both.
No, okay. Just,
Yep.
painting a picture.
Cape is.
Why do you think I lost mine in the first act?
Yeah. Okay. So, yes. So you do your stocking alone in your room. Then you come out and you do Santa gifts.
Sure.
Then breakfast, which is always a big breakfast.
Of course.
Then open presents. And I like to be the person who goes and delivers each person the gifts. I don't like help. I like to do it myself. And then we start with the youngest in the room and we go one by one and everybody watches everybody open the presents because then it lasts as long as possible.
I'm going to say this right now. That was me dramatically throwing my pen. I am a big believer in everybody takes a turn, one gift at a time. Everybody gets to see that person open the gift and you get to see what they get. No shade, but I have relatives that I'm married into where everybody it's a free for all and people are opening things and you don't know what's happening. So I have no idea what my kids are getting or from who, making sure my kids are using manners, all of that kind of stuff. And suddenly it's over in like 10 minutes. And it's just like, okay. And then it's 20 minutes of people going, so what did you get? And then, well, if you're just sitting there trying to watch, you get a lot of like, oh, you should be opening something. And I'm like, but I just want to see this person. Our family, I mean, kids are up at the crack of dawn, but we ingrained in them from birth. You do not wake mom and dad prior to 7 a.m. But at 6:59, you can hear scurrying of feet behind, like outside our door that are waiting for it. And they will come in, they will wake us up, and then they have to stand in a spot in the hallway so they can't see the living room. And then one of us will go wake the oldest. And then once everybody is up, then the lights come on. Then we can see their faces to seeing everything for the first time. Then it's just a stocking free for all. And when stockings are done, then it's get into gifts. And it's take turns one at a time, go around, make sure everybody gets to see everybody opening things. You can thank the appropriate people. And then when we're done, we get McDonald's breakfast.
I love that.
It's nice. We started that when we moved into a house near McDonald's and went, McDonald's isn't far. And it immediately became a thing we do every year.
I started doing for Christmas Day breakfast a play on Eggs Benedict, where I'll get like a hash brown patty, like kind of like you can get at McDonald's.
I'm listening.
But I bake them in the oven, and then that's the base instead of an English muffin.
Okay.
And then on that, I do like a sauteed mushroom, spinach, tomato, onion,
of course,
poach an egg, put that on top of that. And then just as much hollandaise as you can take, you know?
Oh, yeah. Just put it in an IV bag at this point.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, I like that.
Yeah.
The fact that we've never done Christmas together as adults is just a goddamn shame.
Horrifying. Truly horrifying.
Again, the dream. You, me, and Daddy's home too. And I don't just mean because John Cena's there.
Is he on the list?
No. I'm not against John Cena.
Sure.
I just know that there were people in my life who had a crush briefly, and I just felt I couldn't overstep.
Yes.
So I just immediately shut it down and like punched myself in the crotch and was like, no, not that one. And so I haven't done that. I haven't allowed myself to get near that one for the person who I love, who shall remain nameless.
Of course. And that person loves you for it.
If they were here, I'm sure they would. Yep.
Oh, what a gift.
Oh, shit. Yeah. Okay. Well, that's where I'm at. Wow. Okay. I can't decide. Eggnog with rum or without?
I'll take the rum, leave the nog.
Not a fan of eggnog.
No.
Fair enough.
I keep trying, but it's
I
just not
respect
for
it.
me.
Look,
what about
I
you?
like the eggnog. I'll take the rum, but I do not want them together. I never, ever, ever want a dairy product and a booze to combine. It's not something I understand. I can't, like, I remember going to the bar and people would be like, I'll have a paralyzer. And I'm like, oh no, I can't do that. Like, I have no interest in any of that combination. It freaks me out. And I don't know why. I'm sure there's a bigger reason, but tree topper, star or angel?
Now, this is interesting because I love stars so much.
Of course.
But I go back and forth. Truthfully, I have bows on the tops of my, like these giant kind of cascading bows.
Sure.
But then the other truth is that I do have an angel on my tree, and it is a 12-inch cardboard cutout of Castiel from Supernatural.
Of course it is. Misha Collins. That one I can like from afar.
Yeah.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan's there already though, right? Just
I like the idea of us doing a special episode. It's just you reading the list. It's just you reading the list, just the names. there's nothing, just reading them and then listening to like what you go through as you get to each one, like Vince Vaughn. Oh yes.
That was so Tim Allen in that, like, oh. I get it. And in the right moment in time, Tim Allen.
See, now you're tapping it. This is real Blanche. You know what I mean? Yep. There she is.
This is where she's at. A snow globe or a nutcracker?
Snow globe.
I like that. I like that. I love that this is an either or. Candy cane or Terry's chocolate orange?
You know what? I love this because here's the thing. I don't love to suck on a candy cane. Like, it's like I've eaten candy canes, but it always feels like so much work.
It's your tongue in a long stick for a long time and it can get uncomfortable.
Yeah, it's just a lot. And then you start to crunch it and then it's like, oh, it's in my teeth. And I don't want to like a Terry's chocolate orange. I don't typically like fruit and chocolate, but it works.
Hey,
it just works.
I like that you had an answer either way. My question: lights, one solid color or multicolor?
If I have to choose,
gun to your head,
multicolor.
Hey,
yeah.
Oh, that's fun. Growing up, it was strictly a red-green home. You were allowed nothing else. It was just how the decorations worked. And then at one point, years later, like long after I'd moved out, my mother just snapped and was like, I hate red and green. I think it's stupid. And so now it's just solid blue at their house, which I felt was an interesting choice. But I mean, no shade, whatever color you want to do.
Well, what's your preference?
I mean, honestly, it depends. On a tree, I like a solid white. I love that I can't even tell you whether it's cool or warm because I'm drunk enough I don't remember which one's which shade. But on a house, I like a multi. Multi feels more festive to me.
Yes.
I have nothing to base that on, but that's just how it feels. An elf or a snowman?
Ooh. Wow. This is getting hard hitting.
Well, you thought Terry Chocolate Orange was the end.
Snowman.
Hey. Okay.
You?
I mean, well, as far as movies go, I have to say a snowman because elves are not consistent in Christmas movies. Do they look like children? Do they not? Are they ludicrous, but just smaller? Ludicrous Chris Bridges.
Yep.
It's unwell. This is not a either or. I just thought of it. Who's your favorite movie Santa of all time?
I mean, Paul Giamatti, I think I might give it to.
I respect that.
I love again how he captured the character, and there's the moments of like heart.
Yeah. I
really bought it. I really believe him in that. I believe him as that character. I believe that Santa, I thought that he played a very realistic version of what Santa would be.
The idea that Santa married a redhead is something that registers in my mind and soul.
Yeah.
Because I'd like to believe it.
What about you though?
Oh, I have to say Tim Allen. Although I will say every year I always watch the Santa Claus, and then I will always go, I'm not quite done. I guess I'll watch the Santa Claus 2, and then I'll watch a Santa Claus 3, and then I'll realize, what have you done? Because Santa Claus 3 is, stop it. This year I've stopped myself after the second one. I just needed a little bit more. But now I'm done because that third one with Jack Frost, I can't get behind that. My final question for you.
Yes.
If you could live in a Christmas movie, which one would you pick? You're allowed to say Love Actually because Carl is hot. Andrew Lincoln.
Honestly,
Yeah.
that's hard. See, I like the idea of being able to live in the world of Fred Claus because I'd like the idea that I'd be able to visit the North Pole and see that beautiful giant snow globe where you can see anyone in the world.
Yeah.
But I also like the idea of living in the world of Elf and being able to visit the North Pole in that world potentially.
Yeah. Okay.
You know,
It's tough. I mean, I think for me, it's Fred Claus. Yes, the snow globe. I also, and I say this earnestly, it's one of the most beautiful depictions of the North Pole that I've seen. And I despise the snow, but I would live at that North Pole happily.
yeah.
I would be the Elizabeth Banks only human
Yeah.
living, among the elves. I would love it. And I mean, you got Fred stopping in every once in a while. Stop it. This is pure. This isn't time for your smut.
I think in your defense, you've built an entire podcast presence on your smut.
It's the usage of smut. What?
There isn't time for your smut is amazing. Amazing.
I just feel that Paul Giamatti Santa
Yeah.
would be the right kind. I mean, I'm also more on board with those elves because when you get the elves that from the Tim Allen Santa that look like children, it weirds me out. It weirds me out to be like, oh, that's a child, but they're somehow 900 years old. That's weird.
That was, yeah.
But yeah, I think I would live in I would live in Fred Claus if I was allowed to.
Yeah. I agree.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Dear listeners, thank you so much for joining us for the Holiday Hootenanny 2, the annual event that warms my heart so very deeply. We're so glad that you joined us. Listen, the holidays can be a joyful time, but they can also be a tough time for many. And we want you to know that we're so grateful that you're here, that you found us, that you're spending this time with us. Please just know that you're not alone during this time. We're sending you so much love, which brings me very quickly, before I get into anything else, I think we should tease very quickly the next episode of the show because it's a very special situation.
Yeah.
Another holiday episode of the show.
I'm gonna do my best to reel in the booze, but it's bigger than me. So we don't know what that's going to be. Am I supposed to do on the next?
If you'd like. Yeah.
I can.
Okay, great.
I think I'm capable. All right. On the next True Crime and Cocktails, Countdown and Cocktails.
That's right. This episode is going to be released December 31st. It is going to be a special New Year's Eve episode. Now, the reasoning behind this was I hate New Year's Eve more than anything. And I know that there's a lot of people out there that probably feel the same way. And we thought it would be cool if we did a kind of year in review type episode, and we're going to time it. So, and listen to the episode. We'll put out there exactly what the instructions are. But if you sync it up at a certain point to be determined, then we will be able to ring in the new year with you, dear listeners. So if you don't have plans, guess what? Now you do. And we could not be happier about that. It doesn't mean you have to listen to it then, but we thought that that would be a fun thing to do, especially because, again, I know the feeling of, another year and I have no plans on New Year's Eve yet again. So we thought there would probably be other people that would feel the same way. And what a fun thing. What a fun thing. So stay tuned for that. And then we're going to be back January 11th. That is going to be our first episode of the show proper back. I want to say that we know what that episode is, but I also don't know. Do we know? We might know.
It's the December patrons poll pick.
Aha. Okay. So
Mhm.
we're not sure about that yet because that poll has not ended yet.
Correct.
If you want to learn more about patron polls, go over to patreon.com/true crime and cocktails, where you can subscribe to bonus episodes, live Q&As, and vote in our monthly poll to determine one episode of the show per month. Also, if you haven't already, give us a follow on the socials: Instagram, Facebook, YouTube at True Crime and Cocktails, Twitter at Not Detectives, and the only place to get official True Crew merch is truecrewmerch.com. There's Blanche shirts over there, the Blanche Crush shirts over there, which I'm very excited about. I did a little scoreboard theme, so check those out if you're interested. Once again, thank you so much for being here. This was just a hoot and a half, hence the name Hootenanny. And it's a joy, it's an honor, it's a privilege to be able to spend part of our holidays with you, dear listeners, and we appreciate you all so very much. Christy, do you want to say goodnight to the people?
Good night, Santa.
Good night, Mrs. Claus.